Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Construction Tech-Tics podcast. I'm your host, Tarika Jain, co-founder and business head at nCircle Tech. As always, I'm very excited to share the stories of incredible women who are driving the evolution of construction technology. Today's episode is also very interesting as we are joined by a powerhouse in the world of civil engineering and innovation, Dr. Sakthy Selvakumaran. Dr. Sakthy is the founder and CEO of tech startup called BKwai, where she uses advanced data to predict structural issues in the built environment before they even arise. Pretty cool, right? She is a chartered civil engineer with an exceptional diverse career, ranging from assisting asset owners in the UK to designing major infrastructure projects and even working on post earthquake reconstruction projects in Peru. Plus, as a fellow in engineering at the University of Cambridge, she leads research on smart infrastructure, remote sensing, and tackling climate challenges. That's not all. She's been recognized on the Forbes 30 under 30 Europe list and the FT top 100 most influential women in UK engineering, and has even served on UK government's National Infrastructure Commission's Young Professional panel. So that's a long introduction and full of credentials. So let's get ready to hear about Sakthi's journey from industry to academia to entrepreneurship. Welcome to the Construction Tech-Tics podcast, Sakthy. We are so thrilled to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So could you, I've spoken a lot and I don't want to, steal the limelight from you. So could you share a little more about your experiences? What drew you into the world of construction technology?
Well, I studied at university. I studied general engineering and I specialized in civil infrastructure and civil engineering. And through that, I ended up, as you said, I've done a wide variety of things, everything from earthquake reconstruction to, bridge design and working for contractors and all sorts. But then I ended up going back into academia, and with that opportunity, I used that to kind of upskill myself and become a little bit more data aware. And through that process, I ended up learning things about technology, about sensors, and also about satellites. And more interestingly, these radar satellites that can measure millimeters of movements from like 500 kilometers up in space. And I thought, well, that's really cool. And so I went off to Germany's space agency, the German Aerospace Center, and ended up getting trained on a type of image processing that could basically help me learn about how to monitor like structures from space, and from that learned about data analysis and machine learning, and that all, that kind of journey from industry to academia and beyond sparked my interest in maybe making use of these sorts of data sets, and then giving people the access to leverage data and make smarter decisions about how we manage the built environment, really.
Interesting. That's a very diverse career, Sakti. Not many people are fortunate to have this kind of diverse career, from disaster reconstruction to roles that you had with AECOM, Ramball, Lanarok. How did these experiences shape your journey to founding BKwai?
Well, I mean, as you've noted there, I've worked in design and I've worked on for contractors and for asset owners, and through that process, it really highlighted some of the wider industry challenges we have, both in terms of constructing things, but for me, what's really interesting is how we maintain assets, and over time, as these age and deteriorate, and then the challenges of climate change, we've got this bigger and bigger and bigger problem growing. Um, Alongside that, completing a bit of, academic research and learning about the possibilities of technologies and, the cutting edge technologies that I encountered in academia, that opportunity to apply them into real world projects was really quite, something that drew me. And so the foundation of BKwai was a way to put these two sides of experience together, the practical hands-on industry experience and the academic knowledge. And so having that background gave me a deep understanding of both like the sector's needs. First, like seeing firsthand the challenges of managing risk, of structuring projects, of understanding the client's perspective. And in terms of building a business, that really is crucial, because as nice as it is to deploy cool tech, you really need the context and the customer's understanding in order to shape tools that will genuinely help the industry.
So did you already have a customer when you thought of BKwai, or was it more of your personal experience and passion project?
Yeah, so I'd say it was quite a lot based on my own experience. Having done the job of inspecting assets and managing assets, or working on behalf of contractors, you've kind of seen firsthand the challenges. And so I see a lot of people managing these projects in a very manual way. If it's like we need to understand how this structure is behaving or how this site is behaving, we'll monitor things and we'll collect loads and loads of data, and then we'll use spreadsheets or monitor it by hand or plot graphs and print them out and have a look at what's going on. So in the background, you might have some software there, but typically these things just visualize data, and so they don't tell you anything specific about it. And so for me, I just noticed this gap where I saw the technology that we're developing in academia and saw that that could make a difference. So I decided to create BKwai and basically bridge those two sides together.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And how did you secure funding for BKwai, and was this process challenging?
Yeah, so it was interesting for me, right? Because my background is from the sector. It's not in tech. And so with a construction tech business, you have these options. You can either bootstrap and go project by project and grow naturally, or you can bring on investors. And for us, we decided we needed investment to move quickly, to build this core team and to develop out the technology and roll it out. So we decided to take on investment early to accelerate our own growth. And for that, finding the right type of investors is key. So people that don't just not just people that just put money in, right? You don't want to accept any old funding. You want people who can add value to your company, that can refine your approach, and that can also help open doors for you as well. And so, I mean, for us, we have, like, I could name a bunch of different investors. We've got institutional funding. The University of Cambridge's own fund funded us, but we also have, I've got some angels. Like, I have, one of our angels is called Tom, and he's been invaluable in giving insights and helping connect me to people. And Saloni and Andy, who help me understand the VC space and how to think about investment. And they help us shape the pitch and guide us along the way. And so, yeah, it's about curating that set of people who are on that journey with you.
Just curious, Sakti, as a woman founder, did you face challenges securing funding or gaining support from investors?
Yeah, I mean, that's quite it's a tough question to answer because you can't always pinpoint why exactly you do or don't get funding. And people they're not going to come out and say, "Oh, it's because of your gender or your experience, you're a first-time founder, so we're not going to fund you." So in that way, it's hard to say. But what I can say is that I personally didn't have a personal network in the VC or investor world being a first-time founder. So I relied on others to help me, and help me get connected to the right people. So ultimately, the investors who said yes were the ones who mattered, and they also helped me open more doors. So once you can find a few people that believe in you and believe in your vision and your ability to execute it, they will then help you open doors and find the rest of your network and the right types of investors.
Yeah, that's very comforting and encouraging. Sometimes we ourselves have some kind of, baggage, stigma in our mind that, oh, maybe, I didn't get the funding because of XYZ reason, but what matters is people who say yes to, and people who open doors for you. So that matters, and we should always look for those kind of avenues, those kinds of doors, rather than thinking of, what didn't happen. So
Yeah.
that's very comforting. And who were your primary customers at BitWai, and what type of challenges does your technology help them address?
Right. So we have two kind of major sectors within the built environment space. One is construction companies and their subcontractors, and people generally who are involved in instrumentation and monitoring, particularly for large scale projects. So, for example, if a building is going up in central London, they need to monitor both the building itself and also the third party assets around it. So our technology doesn't just let them know that, okay, you've hit a trigger level and something is moving and it's going to cause a problem. It provides forecasts that help them anticipate potential problems and take action early. So you can understand, not just, there is already a problem, go fix it, but we're heading towards a problem and let's avoid that problem altogether. It also helps explain the reason behind the changes. So, sometimes things happen and it's not necessarily the fault of the contractor, but our analysis can help them understand why things are moving. So, it's the temperature shift that's affecting how things are behaving, and not contractor error. The second major group that we focus on is asset management, which is our bigger market. And we work with asset owners. So whether it's in bridges, tunnels, embankments, groundworks, all these types of things, we help them understand the condition of their assets. So many asset owners have portfolios and they need to decide on whether they need to repair, replace, or if they can, or sometimes they have, limited budgets and they want to understand, can we delay doing specific works? Or do we need to do emergency works now? More cost effective and better if they can wait for planned maintenance and that kind of thing. Those sorts of things are multi-million pound decisions, and having accurate data can save a lot of money for them in the long run. So again, we're helping people reduce risk, and making use of data, but leveraging our own proprietary machine learning algorithms to help them make better decisions in the long term. We're currently a UK-based company, and we do some work outside of the UK and are eyeing up bigger markets like the US. So we have a high growth ambition. And we're really excited because we know that the technology works. We've got some major asset owners in the UK, like National Highways and private companies like Equitix in our portfolio. We work with huge contractors like Lang O'Rourke and Kier and all sorts. And so we're really excited about the roadmap ahead. I mean, the challenge in our sector is that sometimes you don't need overly complex technology. It's still an industry that's very manual, even like just a few
Yeah.
years ago. So what we've built to date is just the tip of the iceberg for us, but it's really, already proving value in the sector. And we're really excited about building out new technologies, and hopefully can find the right customers for further trials and collaborations. So yeah, we're looking forward to a bigger vision, trying to understand how assets function, how to learn from historical data, and overall help that whole process of making better decisions across the asset portfolio.
Yeah, I have no doubt, why BKwai can't go beyond UK. You've got the right technology, and I think it's solving, major issue, saving millions of dollars, millions of pounds, in these decisions. So with your vision, I'm sure it's gonna reach to multiple geographies, not just the UK. So, talking about, we talked about BKwai. I also know personally, Sakti, that you've been blessed with a baby. Bless you and the baby. But for the working women out there, how do you manage your company, your baby, and all these investment rounds?
Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, balancing all of that has been quite challenging, also quite rewarding, but challenging. And for me, the key to balancing everything is having the right people around you. I mean, for me personally, I've got a great support system both at home and at work. So you want people who are like all together on that boat with you. So at work, you need people delivering that vision and can help push through the problems and are right alongside with you. And the other thing is for me is for having a lot of support at home. So, I mean, my husband has taken quite a lot of paternity leave himself and is a very active father, and just general household running, right? Like, so you need people who can do that. So it's meant that rather than, me doing everything, there's a shared labor in that, and I have to find a bit more time I have to find a bit more time for myself and to be away from the company. But he's also had to find time away from his job and his work, and we balance that together. So having a supportive team both in the office and work, and in the family at home has been invaluable. And I'm lucky to have my parents in the UK, and so we were just chatting before this podcast about the value of grandparents and how lucky we are to have them with children as well. So the saying about it takes a village, right, to raise a family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've always spoken about that phrase to my company guys as well, and my within my family. You need a village to raise a kid. Definitely, you're so true. Yeah, as a woman, we often juggle with so many things, but I believe we are the best planners. You
Yeah.
know, I remember my own pregnancies. I started planning very early and looked for right support, who people who can support me post delivery. You know, things were, I really planned out a lot of things, and this made me realize that, who I could rely on, what works out, and that helped me long term. Special thanks to my team members who stepped up and took on responsibilities when I was not there during my pregnancies. So you need those, those support system, those trustworthy people. And like you, of course, I'm blessed with my life partner, who's actually my business partner as well, to support me. So I think we and then I always tell on, these Women's Day celebration that for every successful woman, there is a man behind who's been supporting and, giving us that kind of support and trust to flourish and keep achieving the goals that we have for ourselves and for people around us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And your journey, you when you spoke about BKwai and how you're managing your personal life, it's really fulfilling. But now I really want to discuss and know your thoughts about the industry, your perspective. How has the industry evolved since you founded BKwai, and any major changes that stand out for you?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been interesting. I started in this sector about like over 15 years ago now, and even back then, when I was coming out of university, we were still doing things that were, you know, considering things like digital, the term digital. We were doing 2D line drawings in 3D, and that was quite exciting, right? And then came 3D modeling, came the advent of BIM and digital twins and so on. And what's nice now is to see that people are starting to think about these things more broadly. So not just thinking about data or a single project, but about a whole data strategy, how things connect, a system of systems. And that's starting to feel more holistic and more connected to the real world, if that makes sense. The challenge, in my opinion, is that whilst there's still some great thinkers and some big names really like pushing for this direction, it's a struggle in practice. And it's a bit like when a few years ago we were talking about like, when green was the big buzzword and there was a lot of people talking about it, but then not a lot of people doing the action. So similarly with digital, where I think there's a lot of thinkers and talkers and yeah, struggling to see as many people putting it into practice.
Yeah. Do you see people adopting these changes as the industry is evolving, or still there is resistance to adoption of new tech?
I think there's some adoption happening, especially as larger trusted names in the industry are trying things out. When they show that it's okay to experiment, and even when it doesn't always work perfectly, that sends a strong signal to the wider ecosystem. So more people are at least willing to take a step forward, try things, experiment.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 5 years or less than that, uh, we won't be even discussing this. These changes are evident, and everyone has to take up. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think analytics and digital insights, how important are they for infrastructure and construction projects?
I mean, for me, that's why I'm in the business and why BQuai exists, right? So yeah, a lot of time and money that we waste in construction could be addressed through these types of
Mhm.
tools. And in my field, we focus on data for monitoring,
Mhm.
but there are lots of other types, right? Like schedules, program management, digital twins, scanning, error reduction. The core goal in all these is to reduce risk in whatever area we're working in. So my company spun out of the University of Cambridge's Centre for Smart Infrastructure and Construction, and one of
Mhm.
their key slides often quotes Lord like is it Lord Kelvin? If you can't measure it, you can't change it. So if you have data and you find a way to convert it into actionable information, you can reduce risks and you can avoid wastage, delays, and unnecessary costs.
Yeah, amazing quote, amazing. And I really loved it. I'm going to use it inside my company as well. So I think it just doesn't apply to construction, it applies to everything. If you can't measure it, you can't change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that highlights how crucial the data is for optimizing construction processes as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think personally, I think we're getting quite good at collecting it. It's just,
Yeah,
yeah,
true. Yeah. And when we talk about data, I mean, obviously we talk about AI. AI is making big waves in construction industry. How do you see AI shaping the future of this field?
So AI has huge potential, right? But the construction industry doesn't always have, as we said, we're getting good at collecting it, but it doesn't always have it structured or clean or, in the format that these big standard AI models need. So with
Mhm.
most construction data, we don't store it properly, we don't clean it, label it, make it in a way that AI or machine learning could be applied. So I mean, our approach as a company is to leverage existing data networks to understand similarities and differences, where there are gaps.
Mhm.
We can and we can do that to then estimate what's happening. It's a different kind of AI application, but it's still quite powerful. And going forward, the more we start educating our peers and start working with collaborators and customers, hopefully we can all bring each other on that same journey and understand how we can each play our part on making that vision come true, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure AI actually plays a big role, and it's gonna play a very big role, especially for in your type of domain where you are doing forecasting and analysis. So uh, I mean, everyone has to take up AI and upgrade ourselves to analyze the data using AI technology, AI techniques. So true. So Sakti, you're so inspiring. You're truly your journey from academia to from engineering to academia to entrepreneurship. You know, how do you manage and you've been managing. I know I've heard you from you managing your personal life, your baby, your company. What advice do you want to give to aspiring entrepreneurs, especially women who want to make an impact and they are, still thinking and what kind of advice would you like to give them?
I think one of the most important bits of advice is to focus on building the network around you. So as an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, we've already kind of chatted about it, but you need that support, especially on this kind of journey of ups and downs. And even if you don't have a baby or the added personal responsibilities, like the journey itself is filled with challenges. So you need people to keep you motivated. And so in business, it's just as crucial as in your personal life to have the right people around you. So people who can offer guidance, they can offer support, a sounding board for possible dilemmas or problems. So having the right people on your team and advisory board can really help impact the trajectory of your company. And I think the other piece of advice that I'd want to share is also, don't beat yourself up too much about it. Like you will always have these ups and downs, and I think we're often as women we're told, yeah, we can do everything, and the reality is you have to acknowledge that you can't do absolutely everything. So you've just got to prioritize and yeah, just appreciate that there will be ups and downs, and that's the journey ahead of you.
Yeah, I think very, very, very valuable advice, Sakti. Um, I also agree with you. We should have a strong network and we should focus a lot on building that strong network. And that doesn't happen so quickly and it takes time, it takes effort in building that network. You need to nurture this network, and this network really helps you in long term, whether you're thinking of starting your own journey or whether you are looking to switch to another roles or another technology. Having a right kind of network, nurtured network, really helps you. So very valuable advice. And not to subdue the importance of having your own personal professional support and advisory board. So all right advice, I think, and this is what we should focus a lot while we are doing our daily jobs or daily activities. We really need to carve out time to build this network and a right support system for ourselves. So I really appreciate sharing these ideas. And if there is any entrepreneur who wants to pursue and start something, do you have any ideas for them? What kind of things they can look for in ConTech? Where do you see the gaps that can be filled with another startup?
That is a great question. I guess the key is to do the research. You either have to find something that no one else is doing, Um, but you also have to understand why no one else is doing it. So, like, is there a reason no one else is doing it? Or you can identify what others are doing well and try and figure out something to how to offer something more compelling. So there's a balance between recognizing if there's an actual problem to solve, how big that market is, and whether the problem itself is worth therefore tackling. So a lot of learning happens pretty much before you start a business. You don't want to start a business and find all these things out. That's a very expensive way to move. So better to talk to people in related fields, learn from their challenges, learn from former founders, from companies that have done well, but companies that have also, that haven't done well as well. There's a lot of lessons there. So one of our angel investors connected us with a company in its portfolio that doesn't work in construction tech, but they face very similar challenges around data collection and their value proposition. Now they're working in the retail space, so that has nothing. We're not competitors at all, but we could have an open conversation and understand like the technical challenges, share insights, and that kind of thing, and that itself is also really helpful.
Yeah, that's a very good approach. I mean, definitely do as much research as you can about the idea, talk to people, talk to potential investors about the idea, brainstorm with them and see where the potential is and if they can connect you to the right set of people who can give you similar experience, can share similar experiences. That's a very, very good approach. So thank you. Definitely. My whosoever is listening our podcast and hoping to enter into the you know adventurous journey of entrepreneurship, I think this podcast is an eye opener, is something, a piece of advice from Sakthy, very valuable insights into her journey. So thank you for sharing your journey from navigating diverse career paths to building BKwai and offering so many things, so many ideas, future insights about construction tech. And that's a wrap up for our chat with Dr. Sakthy. Thank you, Dr. Sakthy, for sharing about your journey and about the insights. And wish you all the best for BKwai. I'm sure next time I'm going to talk to you, you're going to tell me how fast you're growing, your vision, seeing your vision getting into reality. Really, all the best.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and for everyone, as a UK lead for women in construction tech, I'm constantly inspired by trailblazers like Sakthy, who are shaking things up and leading the charge in this space. We are on lookout for more amazing women ready to make their mark. So if you're excited about shaping the future of construction tech, we would love for you to join our community. Please scan the code at the end of this video and step into the world of ideas that can truly shine. So I run a community for women in construction tech. At the same time, I'm the founder for nCircle Tech. And we are also doing a lot of work on innovation, designing digital solutions that light up the way for sustainable future, especially in construction technology. So Sakthy's ideas today remind me, all of us, just how powerful the data and tech can be to revolutionize the construction industry. With that, see you next time. Keep pushing the envelope. Stay curious. Keep building the brighter future with tech. Let's catch up in the next episode for Construction Tech-Tics. Take care, everyone. Thank you.